now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. He was over 6 foot tall. He had red hair. And when he set out to win a woman, well, you can guess from the title of the story, it was a whirlwind courtship. It is the summer of 1850. The California gold rush is in its second year. And one of the most flourishing of all the mining camps is Nevada City, with new arrivals every day.
Ben Taylor!
Bill Stewart.
Well, I finally made it to California. Even if I didn't have the price of steamship passage. Sold all my law books, every last one of them. Bought this outfit.
Bullwhackers are in great demand out here. Stick to it. You'll make good money.
Thanks, but I happen to be a lawyer.
I may as well warn you. You'll find pretty stiff competition out here.
Meaning, yourself?
And others. Nevada City boasts some of the finest legal talent in the country.
I've had the best training in the world. Driving this outfit 2,500 miles across continent teaches a man how to get himself out of tight places.
Of course. But no legal knowledge.
Oh, there's something to be learned from the law books, but that part's easy.
Speaking as one who doesn't have a law book to his name.
Well...
Miss Lydia, General.
Who is that goddess?
Miss Lydia Carthew, daughter of General Carthew. But don't get your hopes up. Every eligible male in town has courted her. Without success.
Turned you down, eh?
Besides, the Carthews are moving to Sacramento very soon.
How soon?
Still the same cocksure fellow, eh, Bill? If you'll excuse me, I'm on my way to a funeral.
Well, so that's why everybody's dressed in black. I wondered.
An esteemed colleague, Robert Baker.
Well, room for one more lawyer, then. Looks like I arrived at just the right time.
Mr. Baker was an outstanding authority on mining law. I'm acquiring his entire library as soon as his estate is settled. So you didn't heed my advice.
Long funeral service, wasn't it?
We accompanied the remains to the cemetery.
And then stopped for a couple of Pisco punches. The gentleman, that is.
Oh, Mr. Lewis Dunn of Wells Fargo and his sister, Miss Amelia Dunn. Mr. William Stewart from my hometown back east.
How do you do?
Glad to meet you, Mr. Stewart. Another lawyer, huh?
An expert on bull.
It's one of Ben's little jokes. I came out by ox team.
Oh.
Make way.
You can wheel him right inside. We'll unpack him in there.
Just a minute. Law books.
That's right.
But I thought you said you sold all your law books to buy that outfit.
And now I've sold the outfit for 5 times what I paid for it and bought more law books.
Oh.
The library of the late lamented Mr. Baker. Pleased to have met you.
Well, I'll be. Before the body was even buried.
Very enterprising young fellow. He'll bear watching.
Court renders a verdict in favor of the defendant. I find insufficient evidence for prosecution.
Of course, this is in strictest confidence, Mr. Taylor.
Of course.
But, Wells Fargo is about to appoint a chief attorney for the company.
Ah.
And I think, well, in fact, I know you're one of the men my brother is considering.
Well, I'm very deeply flattered, Miss Amelia. Would you know who else?
Young Mr. Stewart.
Him?
My brother says he's already won outstanding success as a lawyer. Of course, it hasn't been settled yet. Maybe some weeks. But I thought you might like to know.
I'm very grateful to you, Miss Amelia. You're wonderful. Of course, it'll mean leaving for San Francisco at once and spending some time there, which is why I can't take the case myself.
Very kind of you to refer it to me. Surprisingly kind.
Well, after all, we're old friends, aren't we, from way back? You'll accept?
Why not?
Good. I'd suggest that you
Take the morning stage to Sacramento,
and then take
the river steamer to San Francisco. I'm practically on my way. Thanks, old man.
Not at all, old man. Not at all.
This is indeed a pleasant surprise, Miss Carthew, to meet you here.
I'm afraid you have the advantage of me, sir.
William Stewart's my name. I just caught a glimpse of you the day I arrived in Nevada City.
I was sure we hadn't been introduced.
You were just moving to Sacramento, unfortunately.
And now we're moving again to San Francisco.
You and your father?
Yes.
Well, that's splendid, because I'm going to be there, too, for a while. I hope I may be allowed to call. I've never had you out of my mind from the moment Ben Taylor told me your name.
Taylor, any idea where Stewart is?
Never around, that fella, when you want him. Regular will-o'-the-wisp.
Might at least leave a note saying what time he'd be back.
That's Stewart for you.
You played beautifully, Lydia.
Thank you.
I shall give you a piano for a wedding present.
You've only just given me an engagement ring.
I'd like to give you the world with a fence around it. The moon, the stars, the universe.
Will, please.
Can't we be married right away? Let me take you back to Nevada City with me.
But we've only just become engaged. We should wait at least 3 months.
Why?
Well, it's only proper.
Oh, I can't bear to think of being separated from you that long. If only Nevada City was near San Francisco so I could get down to see you now and then.
You'll be busy. The time will fly. What are you so amused about?
I was just thinking of Ben Taylor's face when I tell him of our engagement. On second thought, I think I'll wait until I arrive with you in my arm as Mrs. William Stewart.
Stewart! You're back.
Obviously.
You certainly got through in a hurry. I expected you'd be gone a couple of months.
Case was settled out of court.
Oh.
What's the news around here?
Well, I've just landed a very nice piece of business.
Not Wells Fargo.
No, that hasn't been... Hey, wait a minute. How'd you know about that?
Oh, I heard all about it before I went to San Francisco. That's why you sent me there, wasn't it?
Oh, no, I didn't...
don't apologize. The trip was eminently successful. In every way. Oh, what's this nice piece of business you've landed?
I've been retained to represent the Apex Mining Company in its big suit against Caldwell at a very fancy fee.
Who's Caldwell's attorney?
He hasn't got one yet. Nobody's anxious to take his case. Caldwell is licked before he starts.
A wise lawyer never decides a case before it has been tried.
Where are you going?
To offer my services as attorney to Caldwell.
He certainly has courage with all the cards stacked against him.
Fools rush in.
Stewart is no fool, my dear Amelia.
Well, then, why is he defending Caldwell?
Because he's a show-off. Prides himself on pulling rabbits out of hats.
And succeeds 9 times out of 10.
I think this will prove to be the 10th time. I hope you'll attend the trial.
Nothing could keep me away.
Letter from my fiancé in Nevada City.
Oh, is that all he can find to say to you? One paragraph?
He's terribly busy, preparing for some big trial that's coming up. Sometimes if it weren't for this ring, I'd think the whole engagement was just a dream.
Then take the ring off and let the whole thing become a dream from which you've wakened. You know how much I love you, Lydia. And you scarcely know this fellow, Stuart.
No, George.
You were the district recorder at the time mentioned?
Yes, I was.
Have you ever seen this before?
I have.
Can you identify it?
It's the original location notice that Mr. Caldwell filed.
You're sure?
I can swear to it. I entered it in the district records myself.
Thank you. The plaintiff rests his case, Your Honor.
Is the attorney for the defense anything further to say? If not, I'm ready to instruct the jury.
Your Honor, the evidence produced is irrefutable. Once again, a great company has demonstrated its power against a lone individual who tries to oppose it by asserting his rights. And yet I shall go on fighting for individual rights, defending and protecting them against organized interests.
Your Honor.
Silence! Silence!
I congratulate you, sir, on your victory. And you, my friend, can now relax and smoke that gift cigar from Mr. Taylor. Allow me. Well, two $500 bills. Rather expensive cigar wrapper, I'd say.
I object, Your Honor. This is a plant.
Silence! Silence in the trial! Order! Order in your court!
I object. This is a plant, Your Honor. I tell you, it's perfectly reasonable to pay a witness to testify. It wasn't bribery. But I suppose nobody will believe me.
I believe you.
Unfortunate concealing the money under a cigar wrapper.
Naturally, such payments aren't made publicly.
How in the world did Mr. Stewart know?
He didn't. It was just a wild chance.
That 10th rabbit.
I tell you, that man isn't a lawyer. He's a showman, a charlatan.
Congratulations, Bill.
Thanks.
I thought the case was in the bag for sure. Nothing short of miraculous the way you turned the trick at the last instant.
My training as a bullwhacker.
Now that this case is off your hands, what's next on the docket?
I'm going to get married.
Married?
Well, congratulations again.
May I ask who is the lady?
The finest girl in all the Golden West. She has everything a man could ask for in a woman. Beauty, brains, breeding.
Does she live here in Nevada City?
No, San Francisco.
What's her name?
As soon as my house is finished, I'm going down to fetch her.
Which house is that?
The one going up on the top of the hill, beyond the Northrops.
That big place? Oh, I thought that belonged to some bonanza king.
No. The House of Stewart.
Well, that's splendid, Bill. We'll be looking forward to meeting your wife.
You won't be disappointed.
Looks like Stuart has picked himself a winner.
So he says. We haven't seen her yet.
That gorgeous house. She's a lucky girl.
Stewart always talks big. That's part of his game. Builds himself up.
Never seen the time yet when he couldn't back up his statements. He's an amazing fellow.
Someday he's going to push his luck too far.
Oh, George, how will I ever explain to Will?
Write him right away.
That seems so cowardly. I'd rather tell him face to face.
You shouldn't put it off, darling.
He'll be coming down to San Francisco soon. I'll tell him then and give him back his ring.
Goodbye, sir. Goodbye, sir.
We'll have the band out to meet you when you come back, Stuart.
And a red carpet rolled out for the bride.
Make it blue. It'll match your eyes. Let it roll. You mean you're breaking our engagement?
I couldn't marry you now, Will, feeling as I do about George.
I wish I'd known. I'd have stopped work on the house.
House?
It was to have been a surprise for you. The biggest house in Nevada City.
Oh, Will.
Not that it makes any difference now.
It grieves me to hurt you like this, but we had known each other a very short time.
I understand.
Then you will release me?
If you're in love with another man, there's nothing else I can do.
You're very generous, Will, and very kind. Maybe someday you'll meet someone else. Perhaps a girl from Nevada City.
Nevada City.
We'll have the band out to meet you when you come back, Stuart.
And a red carpet rolled out for the bride.
Will, what is it?
Goodbye, Lydia. I hope you'll be very happy.
Here, have another on the house. Gives you courage to pop the question.
The question, my friend, has already been popped right back in my face.
And you don't want to go home because there's nobody there waiting for you.
My problem is there's an entire town waiting for me.
See that man there? The Honorable Henry Foote, former governor of Mississippi, and one of our best customers.
Mr. Foote, you may remember me. I was president of the gathering at your house about a year ago. William Stewart.
Mr. Stewart? Oh, yes, the Yankee lawyer. Well, how do you do, sir?
Bartender, a drink for Mr. Foote.
Oh, no, please.
Ah, but I insist.
Well, then I shall have the privilege of buying the next round, sir. Yes, sir, I always say you can tell a gentleman the way he takes his liquor. Back in Mississippi, thank you. As I was saying, what was I saying?
It's almost 8:30, Governor. I'd be very happy if you'd be my guest at dinner here at the hotel.
Then tomorrow night you must be my guest at my home.
Well, if that's convenient for Mrs. Foote.
Oh, my wife, sir, is a Southern lady, reared in the traditional hospitality. A wonderful wife and a wonderful mother.
Yes, indeed. By the way, how are your 3 lovely daughters? All married now, I expect?
Well, the 2 older ones. My 3rd daughter, Annie, she's still heart-whole and fancy-free.
Oh, she is?
I doubt if she'll be for long, though.
I doubt it, too, sir. I doubt it very much. To your daughter, Miss Annie.
I am a Southerner, and you are a Yankee. But I like you very much, sir. I like you exceedingly well. I shall count it a pleasure to serve you at any and all times.
Thank you. It so happens you can do me a very great favor. Right now, if you will.
You have only to name it, sir.
I would like permission to marry your daughter, Annie.
Annie? You? Are you serious, sir?
Never more serious in my life.
I had no idea. When did you...
The whole purpose of my trip to San Francisco was love.
You sly fox.
Will mean more to me than you will ever guess, Governor, if I can take Annie back to Nevada City with me as my bride.
Well, I declare. Yeah. It's all so unexpected. My youngest daughter. My favorite. However, a gentleman never goes back on his word. You have my permission, sir, to sue for her hand. Good luck.
wonderful house to bring his bride home to.
A bit too pretentious, if you ask me.
Not if he has a position to live up to.
You mean Wells Fargo?
Oh, that's still hanging in the balance.
Oh.
Some things are in Mr. Stewart's favor, though.
Yes, that unfortunate Caldwell case.
Oh, and the fact that he's settling down, getting married. My brother says it makes for responsibility.
And what do you think?
It's not for me to say.
Ah, but it is.
Mr. Taylor.
I've kept silent as long as I can, Amelia. I love you.
Benjamin.
I hesitated to speak before, thinking my motives might be misconstrued.
You mean you really?
Abjectly, ardently.
Oh, Ben.
My darling.
Miss Annie, I can keep silent no longer. I love you.
We scarcely know one another.
You've heard of love at first sight, haven't you? Oh, Miss Annie, don't keep me in this cruel suspense. Say you will marry me and make me the happiest man on earth.
You'll have to give me a little time to consider, Mr. Stewart. I suggest you go back to Nevada City.
No. That's one thing I will never do. Go back alone. I'm going to wait right here for your answer.
Well, I'll try to make up my mind in a few days.
Every day you spend considering will simply be a day lost for both of us. A day apart when we might be together. For in the end, you're going to say yes anyway.
How do you know?
My heart tells me. Just as yours tells you, though you may not admit it. Give me my answer now.
Tomorrow.
Now.
Yes.
Bless you.
Hello, Ben.
Amelia. Louis?
My brother's on his way to the newspaper office to issue an important statement.
Perhaps you'd be interested in reading it since it so vitally concerns
The
you.
Wells Fargo appointment?
No, it's the announcement of our engagement.
Oh.
Hello!
It's Bill Stewart.
With his bride.
Let's go to the stage depot and welcome him.
Come on, Ben.
Isn't your brother ever going to make that Wells Fargo appointment?
Why, Ben.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, hold it for a picture, Mr. Stewart.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Some people have all the luck.
Judge Northrop, Mrs. Stewart.
How do you do?
Charmed. Welcome home, Bill.
Oh, thank you, sir. My dear, this is Mr. Louis Dunn of Wells Fargo.
My pleasure.
Oh, no. My pleasure, Mrs. Stewart.
Oh, here's another man you must meet. Ben, this is Mrs. Stewart, Mr. Benjamin Taylor.
How do you do?
Mrs. Stewart?
Who insisted that your husband's descriptions of you were just too good to be true.
You told them about me before you even...
I had to explain about the new house I built for you, my dear.
He was so bursting with joy, he couldn't keep the news to himself.
That was shameless of you, Will.
Don't censure him, Mrs. Stewart. He was most discreet. He didn't even disclose your name.
Yes, all I said was that you were the finest girl in all the Golden West.
A man in love is prone to exaggerate, I fear.
Oh, Miss Amelia. This is Mr. Dunn's sister, my dear.
And soon to be Mrs. Benjamin Taylor.
No. Well, congratulations, Ben.
Thanks.
I'm so happy to know you. How wonderful that there's going to be another bride to keep me company. Would you do something to please me? Wear my wedding veil when you're married. You'd look just beautiful in it.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to.
Your wife lives up to all your claims, Bill. She'll be a big help to you as chief attorney of Wells Fargo.
You mean, sir, that...
My wedding present to you.
Would you like to make a statement for the paper, Mr. Stewart?
Yes. There's nothing like bullwhacking to train a man to meet emergencies and get himself out of tight corners.
And that's the story of Bill Stewart's courtship. Bill Stewart, who became the greatest mining lawyer of his time and the first United States Senator from Nevada. What about his marriage? Well, in spite of its odd beginning, it proved to be one of the happiest on record.